Hello, my dear students. It's time to learn English. Today we continue working with Unit 9, which is called Whatever the Weather. On the previous lesson, we worked with the text and vocabulary on pages 92 and 93. Our task for today is working with grammar on page 94. Traditionally, let's start the lesson with the grammar reference. It's on page 152. Please take your pens or pencils to make the notes. Today we are speaking about zero conditional and first conditional. Zero conditional – умовні речення нульового типу. How do we form it? After if, якщо, we put subject and verb in present simple. In the second part, we also use present simple. For example, if you push the button, the door opens. The if clause can be at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. If it is at the beginning, it has a comma after it. If the weather is good, comma, we play in the park. If we play in the park, there is no comma if the weather is good. If you have a headache, comma, what do you do? What do you do if you have a headache? One more time. The if clause can be at the beginning of the sentence and we put comma, and if it is at the end of the sentence, we don't put comma. When do we use zero conditional? If we want to talk about the things that are always or usually true and facts. If it's sunny, our cat usually spends the day in the garden. Water turns to the ice if the temperature falls to 0 degrees. We can use when or if. The meaning is the same. If I don't feel well, I usually stay at home. When I don't feel well, I usually stay at home. So, let's sum it up. Zero conditional – умовні речення нульового типу. We used to talk about things that are always or usually true and facts, and in both parts of the sentence we use present simple. If the first part with if is at the beginning of the sentence, we put comma. If it is at the end of the sentence, we don't put comma. The second part of grammar is first conditional – умовні речення першого типу. We use to talk about possible events or actions now or in the future and the results of those events and actions. If the internet doesn't work, we'll play some board games. If it doesn't snow this winter, we won't go skiing. You'll get wet if you don't take an umbrella. As you can see, if we want to make first conditional, in the part with if we put present simple, and in the second part, future simple, will plus bare infinitive. If it's cold this evening, I'll turn on the heating. If it rains this afternoon, I won't go outside. Let's sum it up. First conditional – умовні речення першого типу. We use if we want to talk about possible events and actions now or in the future. In the part with if, we put present simple, and in the second, future simple with will and bear infinitive. Now let's practice. Let's do exercise 1 on page 94. If you have a book, open your book and work it here. If you don't have a book, work please in your exercise book or in your notes. Take your pens or pencils, please. You can underline or circle the correct answers or just highlight them. Let's look at the task. Choose the correct words to complete the zero conditional sentences. Zero conditional, so I use present simple in both parts of the sentence. If the temperature will be below zero, water changes or will change to ice. Is and changes. Why? Because in zero conditional we use present simple in both parts of the sentence. Number 2, when it will be very windy, trees sometimes will fall down. Is, fall. 3, I always will feel better when the sun shines or will shine. Feel and shines. 4. If plants won't have enough air and water, they don't or won't grow. Don't. 5. Will you usually go out for long walks in the forest when it will snow or snows? Snows. 6. When I will have a bad cold, I won't or don't go to school. Have and don't. I remind you, in the first part and in the second part, in zero conditional sentences, we use present simple. If the temperature is below, water changes to ice. When it is very windy, trees sometimes fall down. I always feel better when the sun shines. If plants don't have enough air and water, they don't grow. Do you usually go out for long walks in the forest when it snows? When I have a bad cold, I don't go to school. So in exercise 1, we worked with the sentences for zero conditional. The next exercise is exercise 2 on page 94. Choose the correct words to complete the first conditional sentences. First conditional. In this part with if, we use present simple, and in the second part, future simple. If it rains or will rain this afternoon, I don't want go and play football in the park. Rains, won't. If it rains this afternoon, I won't go and play football in the park. In the part with if, we use present simple. In the second one, future simple. Number 2. If the weather gets or will get very cold tonight, some of the flowers in our garden will die or die. Gets, will die. If the weather gets very cold tonight, some of the flowers in our garden will die. 3. There isn't or won't be any cars on the road if it snows or will snow a lot later. Won't be, snows. There won't be any cars on the knows a lot later. I remind you that we use present simple in the part with if, and in the second one, future simple. For will or do you come with me if I will go or go out to make a snowman? Will go. Will you come with me if I go out to make a snowman? 5. If you will go out in this cold weather, you need or will need a warm jacket. Go, will need. If you go out in this cold weather, you will need a warm jacket. 6. We are not or won't go out if there will be a storm tonight. Won't is. We won't go out if there is a storm tonight. Let's sum it up. We worked with the first conditional sentences. In the part with if, we use present simple, and in the second part we use future simple. Be attentive because we can change the place of the parts. Sometimes we start the sentence with if, and sometimes we start the sentence with future simple. Now, in exercise 3, it's time to mix zero conditional sentences and first conditional sentences. Here we have got the text, which is called Using Plants in Science. Використання рослин в науці. Be attentive. Zero conditional present simple in both parts of the sentence. The first conditional. In the first with if we use present simple. In the second, future simple. When you go to bed tonight, will you take your mobile with you? We can see will, so in the first part, go, you, go. And if you keep it with you, will it be near your bed? Will you keep? If your phone be usually near your head during the night, how do you feel in the morning? Usually, so, present simple. If your phone is usually near your head. If you feel tired and don't do well, this not be unusual. Present simple. Present simple feel. If you feel tired, this isn't zero conditional. This isn't unusual. 5 teenagers from Denmark found that on nights when they sleep with their phones near their heads, they can't think very well at school the next day. Sleep, think, zero conditional. They wanted to know why, so they did an experiment with plants. They grew plants into rooms. In one room, there was a Wi-Fi router, and in the other room, there wasn't. Before they started, the girls thought, if Wi-Fi and mobile phones be totally safe, then the plants grow normally. Think for a while. Phones are totally safe, then the plants will grow normally. The first conditional. After 12 days, they were surprised. The plants near the road didn't grow, and many of them died. But the plants in the other room were healthy and grew well. So, if Wi-Fi stops plants from growing, what does it do to us? Ink stops Wi-Fi, stops because we change Wi-Fi into it. Because of what these girls did at school, scientists now want to find out. In exercise 3, we mixed the rules of zero conditional and the first conditional. Now, let's sum it up. Підводимо підсумок всього, про що говорили сьогодні на уроці. Today we had a grammar lesson with zero conditional and first conditional sentences. Не забуваємо зробити фото запису вправ на сторіночці 94 або в підручнику, або в зошиті, або в нотатках. Так? Домашнім завданням обов'язково є вивчити правила на сторіночці 152. І не забуваємо прикріпити свою роботу до рубрики «Моя робота в класрумі». Thank you for the lesson. Goodbye.